Today we're going to talk about mental tips and tricks for Forex trading. Stay tuned, traders. We'll be right back. G'day traders, I'm Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. Absolutely stunning day here in Perth. We've had a run of about 3 or 4 days of 20, 22, 23 degrees after a 10-day stretch of just squalls and stormy wet weather. That was probably the low of winter time. And today, absolutely cracking beautiful day along the coast in Perth. So today we're going to talk about mental tips and tricks for traders. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I do so that each day when I'm at the screen helps me prepare not only technically but also mentally and emotionally to remind me. I've got a little sort of 8 to 9 minute routine that I go through, and one of the first things that I do is I have a little series of statements that I review that remind me of the reasons why I'm trading. They're just short little 7-8 word sentences. There's about 8 or 9 of them. And just to give you an example, the first one is I always predefine my risk. So what that reminds me of is on my end of day trading system is that I have to take a position sizing that reflects my 1% risk. Now there are certain days and certain trade setups that I will open that up to 2%, but I always predefine my risk. And part of me reminding myself of that is that in the past I've woken up, I've done damage to you know, I've talked about this in other videos, but Perth, our 5 a.m. time in Perth is 5 p.m. in New York. So often when I'm going to bed at night, New York is just open. And I've been in some losing trades going to bed at night where I was over leveraged, over positioned, and gotten up in the morning knowing that I should have got out of that trade because it was already wrong. And when you're in the hope mode, you're hoping that it doesn't go any further against you, or you average into a losing trade, or you've moved your stop, or you've taken your stop completely out of the market. There's nothing worse than waking up in the morning and seeing a huge percentage of your account significantly down in a losing position, and at that point the pain threshold is so great that you're going to exit the trade and just take the loss because you can't handle the pain anymore. But at that point psychologically you've damaged yourself and you've also blown a chunk of your account out. So number one, in my sentences I always predefine my risk. So again, make up your own little 6 or 7 sentence routine. That takes me 2 minutes to read. So I always follow my trading plan. I always predefine my risk. I only look for my best trade setups. Now, I trade off of the opening range of Monday. Often my trades are based on the range of Monday. You've heard me say I don't trade on Mondays. Sometimes I do. It depends on if there's a signal bar on a Friday. That's rare, but it does happen. And there are some good setups. But again, I focus on my best trade setups. The second part of what I do is I quickly flip through my best trade setup screenshots. Now we know that no matter how good the setup is and how identical it might be, we don't know the outcome of that trade. And so one of the other statements is that I'm okay with the outcome of this trade being random because I've predefined my risk. I will debit that loss from my account in pencil when I place my order into the market. If it's a limit order, unless I go in at market, but I still will accept that loss. So that's third component. If I do put orders in, I take that loss so I know how big it is, and I also want to be okay with that and know that I've managed my downside. So I review my playbook, I read my statements, I review my playbook. I have some yellow sticky notes that I keep to the side that again, one of the quotes I have is invincibility lies in the defense. And that was, I believe, Sun Tzu. Now, one of the reasons I have that there is that's a constant reminder that the only way I'm going to survive in trading is to manage my downside. So there's 2 key things. I always talk about this. You can only control 2 things, and that's how much you're going to lose and how much you're going to make. But there's 2 key things about that. And one is that you need to manage your downside, predefine your loss, and also have an asymmetrical risk-reward opportunity. Peter Brandt really helped me tune into this in terms of understanding range expansions on the charts and looking for asymmetrical risk-reward with longer-term time frames. So when I review my chart setups, I look at the long time frame first, weekly, monthly, weekly, then daily. And then I look at my Monday to Friday rotation based on the opening range. So these are just some of the things that I do to prepare mentally to go through, and then technically to go through before I actually even look at my charts for looking for an actual order placement. But there's a few other things that I like to do. Now, I will often try to review or listen to a podcast in the morning. You hear me go down to the park with my dogs. I do a workout. I always have my headphones on. And every day I like to try and get 15 to 20 minutes of just mental primer before I go back. I have an hour or so in that rollover time frame where the market makers are there and there's not a lot happening for me to place my orders. So that's when the volume tends to dry up a bit. It gets quieter in the markets, and I give myself that opportunity to make sure that I'm at my best when I get back at the screen. So not only am I emotionally orientated, technically I'm orientated at the market, but also I want to be approaching that with a money management mindset. So the number one thing about trading is to protect your capital. Look for asymmetrical risk reward opportunities, and that you've got to constantly remind yourself you're a retail trader. You're probably a lone wolf. If you're working in an institution or in a professional office, you'd have other people looking at your trades and your accounts, even at a prop firm, where you'd have a risk manager to control a risk on any one particular position. So it's really critical that you wear all those hats and you're able to look over your own shoulder and be monitoring everything that you're doing in your trading. Like Mark Devine talks about this in Unbeatable Mind. You have to be the silent observer of yourself. You have to be observing yourself while you're being yourself. And that's one of the best things you can do, is constantly be looking at what you're doing and what your behavior is like in your trade execution, how you're managing yourself, how you're approaching the markets. Are you journaling? Are you record keeping? Are you taking the right setups? Are you just being, a gambler? Because if you can look at yourself and be critical and really step back, that's when you can improve on your losing trades, on your mistakes. You can sharpen every aspect of your trading. We talk about going to my homepage and getting a 7-step daily routine for high performance traders. I'm going to be realistic here. 95% of retail traders fail. The odds of you watching this video right now succeeding at trading are less than 5%. So unless you do all the little things that will allow you or help you become in that 5% to be an elite performer, chances are at some point you're going to tip over the edge, either emotionally, mentally, technically, or financially, and blow yourself up. So do all the things that will be required for you to be an elite performer in the markets, traders. And if you can do that and you can stay on track and you can carve out an edge and you can continue to execute your trading plan flawlessly, you'll have a chance. Hopefully you got some value out of today's video. Get down to the beach, enjoy some sunshine. It's summertime in North America. This is our winter. We're having a beautiful winter's day. So trade smart, get better, trade bigger, and live large. Have a great trading week, and may the markets go with you.
Hi traders, it's Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at staceyburketrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, the 7-Step Daily Routine for High Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.